Alright, let's see. So we're gonna do another replay review. This time we're gonna do Sorin versus Donfo. So this is part of the tournament, I believe. We got Kai versus Raven, Canto Valley2. So first thing I want to mention for this, just since I kind of know these two a little bit as players, I would want to say when you're thinking about fighting Raven, some of the biggest things that you got to remember is Raven and Valentine can spam a bunch of candies at the start, so their early game is very strong, and Raven is not very good at clearing servants, but is very good at master fighting, or at least is very annoying at master fighting at the very least. So you should definitely try to avoid master fights and avoid playing probably overly aggressive on the map, I would think.
Este matchup
Let's see how this
es bien
goes.
complicado porque la tribu de Raven es barata. Igual que cuando yo toda
I downloaded the
Entonces, donde
video
yo caigo
because
siempre
trying to watch
es
this stuff through
intento
Twitch. Trying to watch this stuff through Twitch is kind of a pain because the forward and backwards are like 10 seconds each, I think.
y
And
muero,
it's hard to like
exploto.
fast forward and stuff like that, so. Oh, you've got the tiny ghosts. I think that's from like the shader mod if I remember right. I don't actually know. Never used it before. I might download it and try it sometime. Anyways, so on this map, usually you want to send your first stack to 5 and your second stack to like 7 or 2 or something like that. Generally just one on the bottom lane, one on the top lane. I would imagine like Raven, someone that can summon 3 units at the very start, probably sends another one on maybe the bottom lane or like the very bottom lane or maybe the middle lane again. But we'll see what Donfo does. So yeah, especially on a map like this with how many ghosts are up top, your main focus is going to be up top. You don't want to ignore the bottom ghosts necessarily, but they're a lot easier to reach because you've got these little jump off points, and there's only 3 ghosts down here anyways. It becomes more important to not ignore it on maps that have capture cannons because I mean, you're 3 ghosts away from being able to use capture cannons to attack the enemy master ghost, so you can't ignore it as much on those maps, but I think this is fog. Does fog? I don't have the items memorized on the weathers, but if fog has capture cannons, then yeah, you'll have to prioritize a little bit heavier, but if it doesn't, then yeah, you definitely want to focus on the top, and realistically, you want to focus on the topmost anyways. So definitely grab 2 units at the start, very nice. I know some of the Japanese players like to grab 3 units at the start. I'm still really torn on whether I like grabbing 2 at the start or 3 personally. I don't know, I need to test it out more. Very nice, nice, good. Good use of your mana early on. That's very good. So right here, I would have wanted to see you turn left and go and clear this unit. Remember, after you drop your 2 off, remember that your opponent is likely dropping 2 off, at least 2 off as well, right? So your goal now becomes to clear these, at least this ghost, and my guess is Donfo dropped his off at this ghost.
Como dejar tu mono y pasar de largo, como para no perder tensión, no perder tiempo ni nada. Entonces, igual yo no hago la como óptima, la jugada óptima.
¿Hay una versión óptima de esto?
Sí, la versión óptima es que literalmente no paras nunca. Para
Nice,
poder,
not bad, super.
dejar tus 2 monos. Porque si yo
Only 2 candy, but still not too bad. Okay, so the fact that this candy is here and not here means Donfo did not put her on hold. So I think I already forgot if you put yours on hold and the other one is already dead. I think you did. So yeah, just I guess if Donfo watches this, a reminder to make sure your candy holds at the ghost that you drop her off at.
Las capture units, tienes unos frames donde puedes dejar tu mono visible que se quede ahí e irte. Y yo no puedo hacer eso.
¿Y le vale los frames están en este lugar con nosotros?
Sí, y a mí no me funciona.
Nice. So you got a big group of soldiers right here. I would grab maybe all of those, to be honest, because you already have a soldier right here that's blocking the capture units from being able to like take this ghost back, and if you grab these 4 and plant them across the map, like that's a lot of map control. Also a reminder that you have enough mana to summon some more soldiers right here.
O fallo cuando le digo que se quede el mono y se va, o no logro dejarlo ahí mismo. Entonces al final, en vez de hacerlo bien,
Another reminder that you got 400 mana banked up right here, so definitely try to spend that mana when it banks up.
Rápido, luego mal y paso largo y pierdo tiempo. Prefiero pagar y hacerlo como a la segura. La siento que ya me está dejando la zorra.
Try to keep in mind where your units are. Like every now and then, if you can glance at the minimap, that's also really helpful because you could see that you don't necessarily need to put a soldier right here because not only do you have 3 coming to take this ghost anyways, you should probably instead of putting him here, it might be worth just going and grabbing these soldiers and start planting them across the map. For instance, you got 4 soldiers right here. Imagine if you place them 1, 2, 3, 4. Suddenly the map starts looking really purple, right? I like that you did notice before it got too out of control. You noticed your mana.
Los pisos son mi enemigo.
O sea, que todos los mapas tienen 2 pisos.
Ya, pero yo no
Porque
chiquito.
pensándolo, hasta Triona tiene 2 pisos, po. Así que es como
Nice. I personally like Charge Stun Edge, so I like seeing it used there. That's very cool.
Hoy sí, no sé si queréis hacerme el favor y ir al
You probably don't need to use it on every individual unit, but I like the thought still.
Donfo está haciendo super tía. A ver si los de allá quieren venir a sapear.
En el...
I do notice that it doesn't seem like you have a basic master combo yet that you like to go to. So I would maybe practice just, I think I sent you one in the Discord server or in Discord message or something. Just a very simple combo that you can like get at least like 200 damage off. I think it was like lock on 8x, 2x, 4x, 8x into Stundibur. Something simple like that will get you a decent amount of damage, pretty easy to remember, pretty easy to pull off and stuff. So I would try to have at least one of those prepared, and of course there are more damaging combos that you can prepare as well, but at the very least I'd probably focus on getting at least one of those.
General, ¿no? ¿Lo maldito?
Sí, era maldito. ¡Ay! No, ahora sí.
Okay, so I do like the idea of like not forcing the fight there because again, Raven can be a bit annoying of a master to fight, and I know that master fighting isn't necessarily your strongest suit, and so it's good to kind of focus on taking over the map instead. For instance, if you look at the map, you see that you got like 6 servants right here, and you kind of don't really have much else to do where you currently are, so maybe your priority should be to either go and grab some of these servants, or honestly, maybe even more importantly, going and clearing this group of enemy candies out right here. Also, a reminder, I know it's hard to pay attention to this stuff because there's so much going on at the time, but you got 400 mana right here, so definitely something you want to start spending. Nice. Nice, I like that you noticed that. That's good.
Mira, me está atacando por arriba ahora. Y ella sacó su mono pesado que tira.
Try not to, you probably already know this, but try not to knock the servant down early because then you have to kind of wait for them to get back up, right? Just do your basic servant clear combo on them, and you can, especially the P Blamage, you can kill him in like one combo if he doesn't have a defense buff pretty easily.
La lamparita. Ese marido de lámpara tiene un slow y
And you probably don't need to waste your attention doing charged stun edge to kill him. You can just kill him with basic attacks.
baja la defensa. Es un mago. Entonces, es bien molesto. Y entre ese y el slow que tira Raven, yo debería estar comprando dispels.
Dispel is always good to have against Raven. Against Ravens that like to use their skills a lot, you'll probably want to use 2 dispels even. That's often very strong.
Tengo miedo. Lo bueno es que comprar ítems se demoran en existir.
Good. I'm glad to see that you retreated there instead of trying to force that fight. But again,
No digo porque...
your main focus needs to be on the top of the map because there are more ghosts around here, right? So for instance, he's got 5 right now, while you've got 4. You've almost got 5 right here. But if you had been planting your servants across the top of the map, sure, maybe he would have taken this one and this one. But if you had all of these and he only had these 2 middle ones, you'd be in like a very strong position right here.
No digo porque tengo mala noticia, by the way.
No, está bien, está bien. No, si yo algún día voy a hacer el loki en este juego y me lo voy a aprender todo. Igual voy a jugar con Paraben. Paraben es mi Buki.
Está bien, el Puki.
I kind of went over this with God Rookie's replay, but yeah, when you knock somebody down, careful of where they're going to recover because they might recover in your dash path and then block you and they get a free combo off of that.
Sí, me da lo mismo que estos personajes de DLC sean más
Oh
bacanes, pero
no!
yo voy a jugar con
Try
los
not to
Buki.
burst needles. The only time you ever want to burst a needle is if like there's something else nearby that you can hit with a burst that you can then modern cancel off of or something, but even then that's like a pretty risky situation. You pretty much just never want to burst needles.
I buy my Buki.
Unless they're like right next to you or something.
Muy bien. No, y la verdad es que he visto estos días unos paradigms que son de muerte. Y todos están subiendo videos de YouTube de sus partidas. Si queréis ver como las partidas, todos las están subiendo. De repente como que llenamos YouTube como de Overtour. La semana de Overtour, festival de
Too
Overtour.
much you can do here, just, yeah.
Ay.
Try to focus on like when the round is about to end, like you have the right idea of I want to like hurry and buy certain items, but those certain items are like dispels and anti-rods. There's pretty much no reason to ever panic buy any of the other items. Maybe like a landmine or something else with like a really high cooldown if you're like doing Master Ghost defense or something, but try to avoid just panic buying any of the other items. Dispels are pretty much always good unless you already have one or two. And anti-rods are good as long as you're not buying like an anti-mobile rod isn't the greatest against Raven or Valentine's army, obviously.
Ay, la risa en la me da. Ya, pero mira, tenemos casi los mismos dos, al menos.
At the very least,
Pero,
healing rod is a good item at least. So.
¿Podría tirar el intergeneral a los malditos? Digo,
Sí.
I've kind
Sí,
of.
porque están todavía
Okay, yeah.
esperando.
I was gonna say try to make sure you split up your first stack of gauntlet body when you summon them, but the fact that you're picking them up and you're presumably going to plant them around the map, yeah, that's good. When you moved your melee units right here, when you moved them back here, unfortunately, I think you're going to end up losing this ghost to capture units if you don't leave one there. So try to keep one there, I think.
Literalmente yo esta partida, la del torneo, no la iba a streamear. Y el martes estaba así como, ya, pues streamea, ya, pues streamea.
I think when you're planting armor units or like tougher units in general, I think you're better off probably planting them more aggressively, especially because there was nothing defending this ghost. So I would maybe hit the ghost once and then like run across and plant a gauntlet body right here. And since you don't have a guy right here, put another gauntlet body right here because they're going to be a lot harder to kill, and so they're gonna kind of block the flow for a little while longer. Putting him right here, I mean, the only thing it really does is stop him from dropping a candy right here, maybe. But especially because like you want to get as much value out of these early, like you kind of have a servant power spike when you get your first set of armor units out. So you want to get as much value out of them as possible. And having him defending a ghost that's next to your master ghost that's like surrounded by other ghosts that you do or should control isn't going to be super valuable for him.
Vale, vale. De verdad que van a llegar al chat muy rápido. Son muy chistosos. De verdad que están así esperando.
Dale, ya, yo ahí la tiré.
Gracias.
So something you could do here, I do think this is enough candy that it is probably worth your time clearing them. But what you could do here is maybe drop your gauntlet body, pick up a couple swordsmen, drop them right here and right here to stop to kind of like block his servants and capture units from progressing, and then you can come back to this ghost and then start killing the candy. The armor unit by itself is going to be very tanky, and because he has the type advantage against candy, he's honestly going to live for quite a while. I don't know if he actually could beat all of these candies by themselves, but you'd want to come back and kill them anyways, just in case Donfo shows up. But you are correct to identify that like this is a lot of candy. This is definitely something that I want to deal with.
Pero yo ya decía que tenía que invadir este canal unos 2 días para jugar Overtour y aquí estamos, invadiendo.
World Domination.
World Domination. Literalmente, hoy presidente de este torneo de Overtour porque este juego tiene poco player, aceptamos players de todas partes y tenemos en este torneo gente de Sudamérica, de Norteamérica, de Europa y de Japón.
Yeah, I'd probably grab a couple of guys again right there because you're still in the early enough game that it's like you don't necessarily need 2 guys defending this ghost. I mean, in retrospect, you do see that this elite mobile is coming. So if you had theoretically left just like a swordsman here or something and then came back to this would be good. But before you even knew that was there, I'd probably grab 2 and only leave 1 guy defending here because it's so early still.
Sí, y todo lo es que es la gente que de verdad, yo entré, cuando entré a Guilty en general, no sé nada, realmente hay mucha gente también que se está entusiasmando a entrar, así que si no saben nada, no tengan miedo, hay muchas guías, hay mucha información y la gente con la mejor disposición siempre realmente para enseñar.
Nice, I like that charge stun edge. I like the charge stun edge, and something just worth bringing up just to keep in the back of your mind, when you're doing a master fight and you have servants around and they have servants around, sometimes it is good to turn and just kill their servants if you think you can get away with it. get away with it without getting punished too hard, because if you have servants there and he does not only do you have an advantage in the fight, but even if you die, he won't have servants to like take over nearby ghosts or anything like that, right? It doesn't apply entirely in this situation, but it's something to keep in the back of your head when you're doing master fights with servants around.
Y para jugar también,
De hecho,
obviamente.
literalmente en el server, la mayoría de los veteranos, porque hay veteranos que están jugando desde la era del Xbox 360, mueren de ganas de que alguien venga a
Nice.
preguntarle
Getting
cosas del juego.
some
Y
resets.
van a tomarte bajo tu ala y te van a entrenar
Oh.
y te van a ver los replays. Por eso
Nice.
decía también que
Okay. So he is
porque-
running away. And don't get too frustrated if you ever like hurt someone really badly and they just barely get away, because simply winning the fight and forcing them to retreat means you can stay here and you can kill their servants and plant your servants and stuff. So it's still like a very big win just to win the fight and force them to retreat at low health.
realmente estaban así como reclamándonos que no
And he's
estábamos
not going to
mostrando las
instantly
partidas,
heal or anything
o sea,
either, so.
son las partidas del año y no las van a streamear.
Yeah, this is honestly looking pretty good for you right now. I do notice that, yeah, you do have a bunch of units kind of in the same group, and they're kind of like following the same path. I would maybe like to see them split up and defending individual ghosts a little bit more. Not to mention, you did see that that elite elite mobile unit down here. So that's something that I think would be good to have in the back of your mind. What I would probably do is make sure this servant is going to this ghost to capture it, and then run down here and try to help my servants down here kill these candy, and then kill this elite mobile.
Creo que llegaron un par de personas. A ver, veamos.
Nice, I like to see that. When you're running across a path like this, if you don't have a servant right here, make sure that you run into the capture units, because the capture units will, like, it's fine that you didn't because you do have a servant here, but if you don't have a servant here, make sure that you run and hit all of the capture units so that he won't reclaim this ghost automatically.
If you're here
Oh,
from, if you're here from the
that's
Discord, we already started. We're like, we're going.
Yeah, this is match 1, I think. It's still match 1, right? I haven't lost. Did I lost?
No, you
I
haven't.
lost. I didn't have it lost, right? Okay. I'm
No,
so
not
used to
yet.
losing against Donfo. No, yet.
I believe you. I believe you. You can win.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so remember you can dispel those minions as well, right? I can't remember if there's something with the big minion that gets summoned out of corpses that you can't dispel it or something. I feel like you can, but honestly I don't dispel them that often. So remember that at least for some of them you can dispel them, and then you can focus on like the candy and the elite mobile.
Pero en general,
Nice.
son
I
muy
really
buenos.
like to see that you're doing a good job of remembering to spend your mana. That's really good. I honestly think that's why you're ahead
Pero
right
ya,
now.
de hecho, de ahí nos secuestramos con Rookie, que es de Brasil, según yo, creo, Rookie. Y de ahí también ha estado secuestrando como brasileños para jugar lentamente.
Let's go.
World
Very
Domination.
nice.
World
World
Domination.
domination. Over to world domination.
Nice, nice. It's really important that, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's really important that you stopped the ghost from fully proccing, because if it does become his, then they will get defense buffs on them, and they will take much longer to kill. It looks like it's ultimately not going to matter too much necessarily, because he's about to show up, and I assume you're about to have a fight. Oh, and he picked up the Milfoy, so yeah, you probably weren't going to kill it anyways,
Oh,
but
llegó. Ah,
it's a good thing to keep in the back of your mind.
Mi secreto es tenerle miedo y pegar de lejos y tener ítems en el bolsillo.
Yeah, so you definitely should be looking for a way out of this fight right now. Not only do you have like other servants and minions around you, but fighting those with Raven, that's going to be tough. So maybe try to look for like a vapor thrust here. I've noticed that Donfo likes to use the not there skill a lot. I'm pretty confident that you can react to that. You can just like neutral jump to get out of the way, then you can knock him down and run away or something like that. Just kind of look for an opening to get out of this fight.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Woo! Oh, nice, nice. So this can be a knockdown. Okay, so yeah, something that I notice a lot in your servant clear and your master fights, you do this kind of the like spinning upward strike a lot. That move is I think that move is pretty bad outside of combos and outside of doing it as like your free lock 8x attack, your like pseudo smash attack, because it has armor during that. Otherwise, like in block strings and stuff, I feel like it's pretty bad because of how incredibly slow it is, and it doesn't combo even when you have the hit, right? So for instance, yeah, VLC catches up. So for instance, you could have ended that combo with a stun dipper, and then you could. Oh, did you have the tension? Yeah, you definitely had the tension. So after that 8x right there, you definitely want to hit both hits of stun dipper and then just like turn around and run away. It doesn't look like he knows how to block against how to block against Kai, which admittedly can be kind of confusing, especially if you're newer to master fights against Kai. So I mean, if it works, it works. Oh, and you're rewarded with a treasure chest. Nice. Okay. Yeah, nice. This is good. This is good. So yeah, you've got your guys advancing. Did I see this right? Okay, so I would definitely have your soldiers right here retreat back to this ghost because there's no way 3 soldiers are gonna take out 6 candy and a P-Blamage, right? So you definitely want to retreat those here. But I do like that you sent some armors to back them up at least. That's good. The preemptive life potion might be a little much. They are kind of expensive, right? 200 mana, and you have a lot of life, and you just barely want to fight against him, so you know that he has pretty low life. So it might be worth banking that mana instead and getting ready to unlock an elite or something like that. But I really like that you made the decision to come back here because yeah, this is kind of where your focus should be right now. It's a shame that you don't have much time left because you could probably take that time to kill the Milfoy, but it's so good. I'm very glad that you're aware the Milfoy is there and you know that you need to do something to handle him. Because he was full life though, and he does have like the defense boost right here and everything, I would probably send my servants right here on this path. I would send them back to defend this ghost, and you did see that there was a ton of units over here. If you can get over here and you can hit your super on them, like that's gonna be very, very good for you if you can get that. Also, buy another life potion. What are you doing buying another life potion right there?
Es bueno peleando, entonces me aprendí 2 combitos. Yo sé que haciendo así como apretar nada. 5, después para atrás, para el lado, para adelante, para el lado, para adelante, para el lado, para adelante. Así, y este es mi combo.
I do think this is fine that you went up top to because yeah, it looks like Donfo went down there and you probably would not be able to beat him with all the candy behind him and everything. So it is maybe a good thing that you ended up going up here and you can kill the Milfoy. Don't shoot a charge stun edge on someone that is down. You have to stand them up first with your 5x, your lock on 5x. But something to keep in mind as you're seeing this right here is, oh, I see Donfo right here, and I have sent a lot of expensive units to go over to this ghost, right? So you definitely do not want to let these die to him. So either retreat these or like be very quick at killing the Milfoy and then run down here and support your troops.
Creo que igual está mucho más simplificado el juego acá, ¿o no? Más que full fighting game, full Game Gear.
Es que de hecho ni tanto. Lo que pasa es que tiene versiones fáciles, pero esto también tiene Roman Cans.
So it would probably be a good idea to go and practice your servant clearing combo some more because I feel like I see you using charge stun edge a lot in circumstances where you should just be doing the basic servant clear combo. Not only will it save you a bunch of tension, but you'll be better equipped to deal with these units when you don't have charge stun edge available. But yeah, now that you've killed the Milfoy, yeah, your focus definitely needs to be on like at least like retreating your guys from the bottom lane and taking these 2 ghosts, or letting your guys push by themselves and then coming down here yourself and supporting them. I do like that you have the top though. The top is very important to have right here.
Tiene burst, tiene como la versión como.
Let me look really quick at the links in Discord. I did post in Discord. I posted a picture that has all of the items. Here, I can show it on stream for just a sec. It has all of the items for each of the times of day, including the item 2 tab. including the items that spawn after the item 2 tab is full and stuff. So you can always use this as a reference and you can kind of like memorize which ones exist. Yeah, I had a feeling Capture Cannon was not on there. There are some I remember by like just sheer luck that I remember that like, oh yeah, Fog is that one that doesn't have. Anyways, yeah, Fog and Rain don't have Capture Cannons. So yeah, the fact that Fog doesn't have Capture Cannons on it, I would feel a lot more comfortable leaving the bottom to Donfo and just focusing on taking over the top.
Ahí apuntándole a las cosas y cuando no, y
Claro.
bueno, es bien pesado, pero al mismo tiempo no es necesario que estés en lo pesado para poder disfrutar del juego. Yo creo que eso es lo importante, como que igual podés irte a puro RTS.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you have too many items, so you cannot be picking up units. The only you probably didn't need the first life potion, and you definitely didn't need the second life potion. So a thing to remember is not only does it cost mana to buy these items, but another very important thing to remember is that one of the weaknesses of buying items and skills is that they take up slots. Slots are another resource that you have to keep in mind. These are 2 slots that you could have used to fill up with like an armor unit and a soldier, right? Plant a soldier here, plant an armor unit here, go here, clear this ghost off. That is something very much worth considering, I think. Also, just for a heads up, Soul Diver isn't like the most useful skill, but I really like I like how much you use it. It makes me smile. So I don't think it's necessarily like the worst buy either. But again, remember that it takes up a skill slot. So that's one more unit that you can't pick up necessarily.
RTS y puedes ganar partidas a puro RTS y correr.
Claro.
Que en un GG normal, no, obviamente no se puede. Igual no. Yo dropeo todos los combos. Me dicen el dropeador de combos.
Alright, so
follow.
situation like this, you got a whole bunch of units right here. You definitely don't need this many units on just this ghost. You'll definitely want to split them up, get at least 1 unit here, at least 1 unit here. Honestly, if you could sneak around back and take this ghost and leave Donfo with only whatever army he has at this ghost, I think that would be what I have in mind right now. But I'm not sure what he has over here, so it's a little hard to say. Also, yeah, if they have the ghost next to your master ghost that neighbors your master ghost, you definitely want to have some units defending your master ghost right here. Also, oh yeah, I was afraid of this. When you were fighting the Milfoy, you told your units to hold, and because you did that, they've just been sitting here this whole time and not advancing. So remember, if you tell them to hold, you need to tell them to advance again with up on the D-pad, or you can select the group yourself from the organ and tell them to go to like 8 and then 10.
Donfo, vas a caer. Te quiero ver caer, Donfo.
Oh, está en mi casa. Perdí.
¿Oh?
Perdí. Si no llego para mi casa en este instante, perdí. Es que fíjate que en el minimapa está con muchas cosas en mi casa y va para allá. Oh, y tengo 0%, ¿no? Va a mirar mi casa, perdí. No alcancé a darme cuenta, perdí.
Tenés que salir en la foto. Sorin, no. Tenés que salir en la foto.
La foto. Oh, no salió la foto.
So unfortunate, but as unfortunate as it may have been, I do want you to know that you were definitely winning this map. You were winning by a very significant margin here. Not only did you have the majority of map control, you had plenty of mana in the bank. You had some strong units out. He just kind of pushed your Master Ghost while you didn't have anything defending it. So it's just something to keep in mind to keep some units at your Master Ghost in a scenario like this. But don't be too discouraged because you were definitely winning this map.
Que salir en la foto.
Oh,
Sorin,
no.
Tenés que salir en la foto.
La foto. Voy. Oh, no salió la foto. Casi.
Oh.
Hola, que mami.